Welcome to another Rolled in Reacts episode. The owner of this car came in with no power steering after having installed a new steering rack at another shop. The mechanic discovered that the steering lines were resting against the subframe, CV axle and the serpentine belt. This customer had tried welding his cracked power steering rack back together by himself, but it wasn't super successful, so he had to come into the shop to get it fixed. This customer had done his own brakes and wanted the mechanic to make sure everything looked alright.
Some people's children, eh? Toenail chewers.
Customer states, did my own oil change, car won't stop smoking. The mechanic later discovered that the engine was overfilled by about 8 quarts or 7.6 liters of oil. This customer had done some electrical work on their car, but had to come in because it wouldn't start. And this car came in because the owner complained about a slightly wobbly steering wheel. The owner of this car had installed their own tires, but came in because the car now has a pretty bad vibration. The technician discovered the issue to be caused by all 4 tires not being seated on the rims properly. This truck came in with wheel bearing issues after the customer had tried doing their own quick fix. And this customer came in complaining about a strange noise coming from their wheels after their buddy had helped them install some new brake pads. Apparently, they forgot the retaining pins that keeps the pad in place, and the pads had been scraping against the inside of the wheel, which caused the noise. And this Ford 350 came in with some differential issues. Once the mechanic removed the differential cover, he discovered this. And this customer came in complaining about rough and noisy shifts. And this customer came in with their Hyundai because he had fixed an oil leak all by himself with glue and Flex Seal spray, but the car was still leaking oil. And this customer came in complaining about their car handling poorly. Customer states, I think I'm missing some parts. This customer came in saying that their brakes worked fine up until this morning, but then they started having horrible grinding noises. And this customer came in because they had a strange noise at all speeds after a gear oil change at another shop. The mechanic discovered that the power transfer unit had exploded, which had caused the mounting gear on the transmission case to snap off. This customer had done some wheel and suspension work by themselves, but had to come in because of a pretty loud clunking noise when going over bumps. This car apparently does not like any air going on the windshield. Customer states, hit something on the road, engine light is on, please check and advise. Customer states, car clunks and vibrates when turning, please advise. The mechanic found the issue to be caused by a worn out lower control arm. Customer reluctantly came in for some wheel work after having said, I typically do my own work, but I trust you guys. And this customer came in and requested new spark plugs but denied any other repairs. And apparently there's a DJ feature in certain Hondas now. And this customer drove in for an oil change, but the mechanic discovered that they needed a little bit more work than just that. And this customer had installed used wheel bearings by themselves to save some money, but ended up having to come into the shop to get new ones. This customer had changed their own brake lines, but had to come in because of a leak. This car definitely needs to see an orthopedic doctor ASAP. Customer states, car got louder overnight, please advise. The mechanic discovered that someone had stolen everything but the customer's cats. And this customer came in because they apparently lost all steering while driving after having installed a lowering kit all by themselves.
That ain't doing nothing.
Customer states, really poor steering, please advise. The owner of this car came in because of clunking sounds coming from his wheels. Customer states, can't unlock my car, please help. This car rolled in because the owner said he heard a pop from the back while driving. This customer came in because they had hit something and now their car makes a rattling noise. This car came in on a tow truck because it refused to start after the owner had tried installing some new speakers by himself. The mechanic found a few blown fuses and a couple shorted wires to be the issue. Customer states, winding noises from engine and car has trouble starting lately. Customer states, my taillights keep peeing themselves. Customer states, parking brake keeps getting stuck. This car came in because it had a weird brake noise. The mechanic ended up finding a bit more work than just the brakes. This Chevy Colorado came in because the owner heard a loud bang and the car came to a sudden stop. The mechanic discovered that the transmission tailshaft housing was broken because of a seized U-joint. This customer came in because they just couldn't open their window. And this customer had just purchased this used Kia Niro but came in because it overheated after only a few days of use. Because the Niro is a hybrid, it's got a heat exchanger in the exhaust to help with fuel efficiency during cold starts. The mechanic discovered that the exhaust was pretty beat up and the coolant lines not even connected to the heat exchanger. Customer states, was driving on sand, floored it until I came onto pavement and then heard a loud bang from the rear and my car suddenly stopped moving. Customer states, there's a clunking noise coming from my wheels, please advise. This truck came in after a rim exploded, destroying 2 tires, the wheel hub, shock absorber, brake booster chamber, and the air suspension. Hopefully this guy has some good insurance. This car came in because the owner complained about a slipping clutch, and this is what the mechanic found. Customer states, car makes a lot of noise and runs poorly. The mechanic found there to be very little oil on the dipstick, a lot of valve train noise, and pretty much no oil left in the engine. This Honda Accord came in because the owner said it had a really bad grinding noise. The mechanic discovered that the rear brakes had pretty much no pads left and the rotors were completely worn out. This customer had just picked up their new John Deere tractor but had to come in a few days later because of a turbo issue. This car came in for an oil change and the mechanic noticed that the oil filter had been under some serious pressure. This vehicle came in because it apparently had a transmission leak. Customer states, "Something's wrong with my windshield." And this customer came in because they said that their car feels slower than usual. This customer came in with their '07 Corolla complaining about a knocking noise when coming to a full stop. Customer states, "My tire has huge pimples." The mechanic found that this was likely caused by the tire being driven on extremely low pressure with camber and toe, causing the inside of the tire to get hot and bubble up under pressure. And this customer complained about their Mazda having a stinky smell after coming back from a vacation trip. And this customer came in saying that they hadn't had an oil change in a while and thinks it might be time. The mechanic also found there to be pretty much no oil left in the engine. This customer had apparently tried rock crawling for the first time. The owner of this car complained about clunking sounds after hitting a pothole. This customer was driving in the middle of nowhere when their alternator mount broke off. Thankfully, they had some tire wraps lying around and did a little quick fix just to get home. And this customer thankfully came in to swap their car's milkshake brew for some fresh engine oil. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching, and until next time.